So this video is just a brief review of something that we discussed in class, just going over highlighting and annotating and what we mean by that. And then I just did a demonstration or model of it. And then in this video I'll maybe go a little bit further to talk about why I did what I did. So if you either missed it or just were a little bit confused the first time or need a little bit of help, that is what this is for. So first of all, to answer the question, why do it? In math class, you're asked to show your work, and in English, particularly with reading, this is how you will show your work. Because the work of reading is to think, but to make that process visible, that's why we do the highlighting and annotating. Also, it is a chance to maybe learn about yourself as a reader, and maybe notice some strengths but also some gaps, and I'll talk more about that a little bit towards the end. And so overall it can just help you to be a better reader as you learn about yourself, but also as you go back over things, you can see what you noticed, and it's just easier to find things as well. There are different ways to respond from a passage, and this is just a list that I got from a book that I have. And so there, here's a list. You can pause and read it if you want, and I'll be revisiting it again. But there's all sorts of things that you can be thinking, and that's what makes reading sometimes just a little bit overwhelming, because there's so much information and so many different ways to react. So this is the poem again that I just modeled in class, and so I'm just going to do that again here, just in digital format. And the poem is Afterthoughts by Sarah Holbrook. Thoughts, love. And again, my first reaction there was, no, they don't. They look, and so now what I'm realizing again is that we've got some personification going on. I brood or smile. And that word I brood I'm a little bit confused by, but because of the words or smile and that or, it just tells me that at least I brood is somehow not really happy. Thoughts blurt, race rush, or wait a while. And so again, these are contradictory, and so there's different kinds of thoughts. Thoughts trapped inside may blame and boil, and that line reminds me of a poem by Langston Hughes called Dream Deferred. Review, react, relate, recoil. And a couple of things I noticed there is that repetition of those rewords, but also the periods just really slow things down. Thoughts expressed may find a way to take a stand, find solutions, lend a hand. And so just to summarize what that means, or what it's saying, is that things that are said can take a stand and find solutions that can help out. Thoughts that can't find words exist, resist, insist, unheard. And again, another pattern or repetition there with those sounds, and then she switches it up with that last word, which is just a really soft and quiet word. So again, we go from this to this version of the poem now that has all of my thinking on it, and you can really tell that I read. And then when I go back over and read things, I can see where I was pointing out maybe things that seemed a little bit more important. For example, where she was stopping me with all those re-words and the periods. That gives me an indication maybe that it's important. There wasn't really anything that I pictured, though, and maybe if I was going to try and really be careful and reread this, maybe that's something that I would want to do. I did connect the passage, not really with something else in the article or the poem here, but I did connect it to another passage or another poem as well. I didn't connect it to a personal experience, so that might be something that I would want to do. And so these are some things that I can think about as I go back over to help me be an even better reader and a more careful reader of this poem in